and welcome to Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. I am Colred. Thank you for joining me. So there's something going on right now that I feel like I need to address. I don't normally do reaction videos, but JGigs here, who is another content creator on the raid scene, has put out a video called officially calling out every raid content creator. I've watched the video. It's making the rounds. A lot of content creators have already reacted to it. I like to take my time if I'm going to react to a video, and I want to think about it. I want to let it marinate for a little bit so I don't give my initial impression, because sometimes I just haven't thought out what my real response should be. So I wanted to give this a few hours, but it is definitely making the rounds. You may have seen the video already. If you haven't, I'm going to put a link to the video, the original video, in the description of my video. Make sure you go hit up JGigs. He's a great content creator. I am a subscriber to his channel. You can see that. And it's a worthwhile video watching. It's not very long. I'm not going to do the whole video. I'm not going to play the whole video here because I want to make sure that players who are interested in JGigs' take go to his channel and support his video. So definitely hit the like button for this video here if you like reaction content and you think that this discussion that we're going to have is worthwhile. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, but also go and consider watching JGigs' original video, liking that video, subscribing to his channel as well. As I said, I'm a subscriber and I really enjoy his content. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start the video. I want to talk about the beginning of the video, and then I'm going to pull some timestamps out of the video that I've already kind of previewed. So this is not my first time watching this video. And yeah, just at the beginning, let me say that I respect JGigs quite a bit. He's one of the content creators I have a lot of respect for. I think the general community of content creators for Raid is excellent. So he's not the only one I feel this way about, but I do want to say that in general, I appreciate him and I appreciate the stands that he takes and the content that he puts out. So let's go ahead and start his video and see what he has to say.
That's right. I'm officially doing it. I'm officially calling out all of my fellow content creators and the community in the most loving way that I can do it. I think it's officially time for us to take some sort of action here. So if you're watching this, I would appreciate it if you would go bug the other content creators about reacting to this video, or at the very least watching it and sharing some thoughts. I know that a lot of them are probably similar to me in that they don't watch a lot of other raid videos, so this might not pop up for them. So I need you guys to go bug them about this a little bit. I'm calling y'all out. I think it's time for us to try to make some sort of a change. This game is...
All right, so let me just say here at the beginning, I know that the title is officially calling out every raid content creator, but clearly he's not really calling us out, right? What he's saying is he's calling on us. He's saying we need to make a change. And that feels less like he's maybe calling us out and then more than just like, calling out for organization. So he also said he's calling us out in the most loving way possible. So I don't feel like this is an aggressive call out. I don't feel like this is a contentious call out. He's not trying to stir up trouble. He's not causing drama. He's not being a jerk. He's just clearly got something on his mind and he's hoping that we all dig into it. So let's see what he's got on his mind.
He's in such a bad state right now, and we've been gradually watching it get pulled further and further away from its potential over the last several years. Pretty much since the game came out. And that's tough. That's frustrating to watch because the game has such a good foundation. There's a lot in this game to enjoy, but Plarium almost refuses to let you enjoy it. It's almost like they're trying to do the worst things they can come up with just to see if they can still make as much money as they're making. And they must be, because it's only getting worse every single day, it feels like, at this point lately.
Okay, so he's clearly upset with the state of the game. I don't know what set him off. I mean, I did watch the video, but I think there are several things that are currently setting him off. And I don't know that we know exactly the cause of this rant, but clearly he's upset with some of the things that have come out recently. There's been a recent patch. There's obviously the ×25 event that's going on right now. There's the Xena Pass that came out recently. There's a lot of things, so he's going to outline some of them right now.
I don't think anybody needs to be convinced that this is terrible. And it's one of many things that's terrible, but this is the freshest of them. This is a deliberate smack in the face, and people are going to participate in it because Plarium doesn't.
So it's funny because he says, I don't think anybody needs to be convinced that this is awful. And I actually think it's okay. I think the progressive event is okay. I did a video on it. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's a significant improvement from where we were. And even though it doesn't go as far as I would like to have seen it gone, I think that's a sentence. The truth of the matter is it's an improvement. It's an improvement for free-to-play players who now have a times 15 base chance on certain events and a chance to potentially select a certain number of champions that they can pull from. That's good for free-to-play players, especially if you're the kind of free-to-play player who would pull on times 10 events. I never did. That was never my thing. I would only pull during 2 times events, and if a 10 times event coincided, then that was great. But so you now have 15 times instead of 10 times. That is an improvement. It's not nearly good enough. It still should be higher. I think they should have started at 20 and maybe gone like 20, 30, 40. That would have been really good. But realistically, it's an improvement for free-to-play players. I also think it is an improvement for spenders, large spenders, who were potentially spending, thousands of dollars on a single shard pull event to try to get specific champions. So you now have that increased chance. I think the one group of players this actually kind of hurts is the mid-range spenders, because it's going to entice you to spend more than might be reasonable or healthy for you if you're in that range. And I do think that's where the gambling aspect of this company comes in. Remember that Aristocrat, the company that owns Plarium, is a casino conglomerate, basically. So they have certain beliefs about how to get money from customers, and it's based on casinos. So this is a progressive event, which is very much a casino-style incentive to spend more money. But I do think it will help free-to-play players. I do think the change will help potentially the Krakens, but the mid-range spenders might be paying a price.
There's been a pattern for years where Plarium does the thing that they do. All the content creators make videos about how bad it is. All of the comments echo the sentiment, and the community as a whole, at least the YouTube side of the community as a whole, kind of expresses, we don't like this, this is bad. But then we also turn right around from that and continue to give them money and continue to do the fusions and buy their passes and participate in the events and tournaments and do all of the things that we just talked about how much we hate.
All right, so this is actually really important. This is the part of this video that I actually like the best. And I have watched the whole video, like I said, but this is what I've been talking about on my channel for the past several months, which is that we have complained, and Plarium has primarily ignored us, with the exception of when we speak with our wallets. And this is on everybody who is a spender, right? I am a free-to-play player, so regardless of how I advocate on my YouTube channel, and I do advocate for things that I believe in on my channel in terms of like how we should spend our money or where we should, complain to Plarium. But I think that the spenders in the game have the responsibility to themselves and to other players in the game to say when value is acceptable and when the value is not acceptable. And if we complain with our voices, but then we go and spend the money anyway, then Plarium doesn't have to listen to us because money speaks louder than words. That's basically what it is. And that's what I think he's getting at right now. Okay, now I want to fast forward a little bit to another place in the video.
This champion pass is the most boring, lazy, uninspired battle pass I've ever seen in a game since battle passes have been a thing. And if enough people buy this, this is what they'll look like forever. There will be no reason for them to change it or try to make it better if enough people buy it. And I worry that enough people have.
So this is actually exactly the point that he's making, and it's a great point. This is, in fact, a very bad battle pass. The Xena battle pass is barely a battle pass. I talked about this in my review of the battle pass when I said, basically what it feels like is they created a really cool login reward champion that should have been free, and instead they put it behind a paywall. And in fact, because she's going to go away forever after this event, that is incentivizing people to feel like they're missing out and they need to spend the money for this pass. And the price of this pass is way too much money. So it's a bad event. It's not an exciting event. It doesn't add anything to the game. And it is a punitively priced event as well. So it's just too much money. The champion may be cool. I don't know. She looks decently cool. I've seen reviews of her. She seems like she's pretty strong. I don't think she's game breaking. And if you're a fan of the show, Xena Warrior Princess, you may just have nostalgia and want to buy her. But the event is awful. JGigs is absolutely right about that. And the price point is ridiculous. And everybody knows that's true. All right, I want to jump ahead to another timestamp.
But they don't like you. These other games, these other mobile games, some of them, it feels like they appreciate their players, and it's so noticeable. It's kind of the difference in how a small business feels about their customers versus how like Walmart feels about their customers. Like, they know that they're fine. They know they're getting your money, and they don't even really want to interact with you. They don't care what you think. They don't care what you think. They care how much money they make. They care what their data says. If we go into their wallets for change, the game will get better. And I bet you it'll get better rapidly.
Okay, so he said two things here that I think are really important. One is that Plarium doesn't like you, meaning us, the players. And I think that that is an interesting statement to make, because the truth of the matter is we don't know. We don't know how Plarium feels towards us. We don't know how any individual who works for Plarium feels towards us. We don't know how the executives at Plarium feel towards us. And we don't know how the parent company, Aristocrat, or any members of that company feel towards us as a player base. I bet the relationship is relatively complicated because every business needs their customers to have a level of customer satisfaction that keeps them coming back. Every business does, or they need to just turn over the customer base so quickly that they replace any lost customers with new customers. In addition, there are different types of people in the company. There are the developers who are creating the games, and the chances are they got into game creation because they like games. At least some of them must like games. They've made a very cool game. So my guess is that they feel like players. They feel like they're us. And in reality, they don't hate us. They don't hate us. But they don't have control over the monetization of the game. They only have control over what they can do. They can create cool champions, do the artwork, try to create fun battles, interesting tactical choices, and all of those things. And sometimes they win, and sometimes they lose. Sometimes they do a good job. Sometimes they do a poor job. I'm pretty sure that those people at Plarium don't hate us. As far as the people, say, at Aristocrat, they may just view this as a money-making enterprise, and they don't care about our opinions. They simply care about what we do with our money. And so I think this reinforces JGigs' previous point, which is that our money talks. Basically, our money talks and our voices fall on deaf ears. And I do feel that there is enough evidence in terms of the direction of the game over the past several months to indicate that Plarium or Aristocrat at least feel like we are just the means to a financial end, that our concerns are not really respected, and that they're going to do what they do based on whatever decision-making process they have, and we're not really part of the equation. So I do agree with JGigs to that extent. The second thing that he said, which is really interesting, is the same thing that we've been saying before, which is that money talks. So I'm just going to replay the last 10 seconds here.
They care how much money they make. They care what their data says. If we go into their wallets for change, the game will get better. And I bet you it'll get better rapidly.
If we go into their wallets for a change, the game will get better. And I bet you it'll get better rapidly. Now, I'm going to actually play you another clip here. But this is a clip from a live stream that I did about a month ago. Now, in this video, I am talking about when Primal Shards were just launched. Mythic Champions were just launched, and the price points were ridiculous, and everybody was unhappy. And this is what I said in the video. The one upside to it, I think, is the fact that, like, if you look at when skins launched and you look at when Soulstones launched as packs, those prices have come down. And they came down because people refused to buy them at the price point. So if people refuse, like if the whales and krakens refuse to buy these packs, in a month's time, they may be down 30%. So this stream was from September. This was not October. So this was from September. It looks like September 8th. So the Primal Shards had just been released. And at the time, the packs in the shop were $50 for 5 shards. And the specialty packs were, I think it was $25 for 3 shards, so that's $8 1/3 per shard. Now I'm going to take you into the game and show you what the prices are today. Okay, so here we are in my shop. This is, I don't know which account this is, but this is one of my accounts. And you can see that this pack here is now 7 shards for $50. It was originally 5 shards for $50. So they are reducing the price point per shard by giving us more shards per pack. Now, if we pull out our trusty calculator, we can look at the cost per shard right now. So let's say we take $50 and divide that by 7. And you'll see that the cost is currently around $7 per shard. And before it was around $10 per shard. So this is roughly just under a 30% reduction in the cost per shard, which is exactly what I said it would be in my video. Now, I hit the number on the head, oddly enough, but this feels like that reasonable adjustment that companies would make. If this didn't work, they would adjust it again, but it feels like they made a 30% price adjustment and the player base stabilized in terms of their opinion on the price point. Now, whether or not that's actually good value or the player base just felt like they got a win and they, accepted the win as is and just moved on with their lives, I don't know. But we can also look at the specialty packs. Okay, so here is a special offer. This is on the limited special offers tab. And as you can see, there is a premium offer here. 5 primal shards for $25. So this was originally 3 for $25 when they first launched, when primal shards first launched, and now we get 5 shards. So again, they haven't reduced the cost, but they've increased the product that they're giving us for that cost, thereby increasing the value or improving the value for the player. So this is just more evidence that if we speak out with a single voice, but more specifically, if we speak with our wallets, if people don't buy packs, then the prices of those packs drop. That's because Plarium cares about money, just like JGigs said, and when we speak with our money, they listen. All right, let's go back to JGigs' video. We have a couple of more clips to watch. All right, here we go.
And I'm just tired of watching them treat their players like shit and get away with it. So again, I'm kind of officially calling my fellow content creators out. React to the video, share your thoughts on the video. If you agree or disagree, fine. I'm interested in the discussion, but I do believe if we all came together as a community, we can make enough of an impact that they have to start treating this game a little differently. And I would love to see this game start working its way back toward its potential rather than continuing to get aggressively yanked away from it. This game feels like it's getting worse by the day. And while I enjoy logging on and having stuff to rant about and making the skits, and that's all fun for me, what would be more fun, I think, is to log in and have this game be good and feel like Plarium's actually trying to take it in a healthy direction. And
okay, so he's calling on us. He's letting us all know that we need to get involved. He's saying to the content creators, I guess, he doesn't know who I am. I'm too small of a content creator for me to probably be on his radar yet. But he's calling on all content creators collectively. He's saying, this is what we've got to do. So again, going back to the title here, he's not really calling us out. He's calling us for help. He's saying, let's get organized. Let's get together. If we band together, our voice is powerful enough that they have to listen to us. Let's tell our viewers how we feel, and let's try to rally them in support of this idea that we can get Plarium to listen if we collectively speak out and we use our wallets to support what we're saying with our voices.
I think we can force them to, and that's basically what it's about. So it's official. I'm officially calling for the strike. Don't give them any money. Don't do any fusions. Stay out of the tournaments and events tabs. Don't participate in these stupid ass summon events they're doing. Right? If there's a 2x is a good summon event to play around in. The double Lego can be fun to play around in. 10x's and any of the x's don't do. Fuck these summon pull stupid ass events. Just disconnect for a little bit from all of this bullshit. Stop rewarding them. Don't buy packs.
Okay, so this is his call to action. He's telling you what to do. Now, I personally think as a free-to-play player that you can still do fusions. I still do fusions. I do fusions as a free-to-play player. I've never put money into the game. So I don't think stopping to do fusions or like stopping participation in fusions is going to help our cause unless, and this may be what he's assuming, you spend in order to complete fusions. And that could be a thing where you buy some shards or, you buy something in the game that's going to make that fusion a little bit easier. So what I think my interpretation of this is he's saying go free to play. When he's saying disconnect from all the bullshit, what he's saying is don't participate in your own abuse. Don't let Plarium think that this is okay, because with your wallet, you're telling them it's okay, regardless of how you feel and how you may, complain to your friends or in your Discord or here in the comments of a content creator's video. We all have complaints about the game, but when we continue to do what we've always done, they will continue to treat us the way they always have. That's just the reality of the situation, right? So in order to get them to treat us differently, we have to act differently. And that's what JGigs is calling us out to do. And I am fully in support of this. I don't know that I don't know what sparked this. I don't know what set him off. Maybe it was Xena. Maybe it's the times 25, whatever it happens to be. But I think this is always a good thing. I don't think it has to be a movement. I think it should be a practice. It should be an ongoing practice. Anytime Plarium ever puts out a pack or an offer or a special event that you feel is poor value, accept the sacrifice, reject the FOMO, and holster your wallets, right? If you're a spender and you love Xena and you're nostalgic about her and you would love to have that champion and you think she would help your account, but you recognize that the price point is just absurd, then sacrifice your desire for that champion. Take a little bit of the pain and say, if we all accept a little bit of personal sacrifice, we can potentially make sure that this never happens again. Because if we all buy Xena, then in 3 months' time or 6 months' time, they're going to start trying to sell us Hercules, or they're going to try to start selling us Power Rangers, or whatever the heck it is from our childhood that they think will get us to spend money, and the price point will never come down. But the price point on the Primal Shards came down. And in fact, just recently, just this past week, they introduced more sources of free Primal Shards. And they did that primarily because the player base still isn't happy with the position of Primal Shards in the game, but they're getting better. I don't know if the price point is probably fairly close to finalized. I don't think they're likely to move it again unless the Whales and Krakens really, really just strap down and don't spend. Then maybe it would change again. But I think it's likely this is the final price point for Primal Shards. But we've gotten better access to them now as free-to-play players and as everybody. Even if you're a spender, you've gotten better access because they're now in Live Arena and they've increased the drop rate in Hydra Clash. They didn't do that just because they wanted to be friendly. They did that because the player base was pissed and because they stopped spending. And Plarium's reaction was quick. It was a month, less than a month. They dropped the prices of Primal Shards. They'll do the same for stuff like Xena. If we don't buy Xena, the next IP, champion that they come from some kind of crossover will be cheaper, or they won't do it. They just won't do it anymore, and they'll just make their own original champions, which for me would be okay. I think that would be fine. All right, so I want to thank JGigs for this video. I think it's a great video. I think it's a great discussion to have, and he says he is open to the discussion. So he's not even saying that you're like a bad person if you're a spender or anything like that. He says, let's talk about it. Let's get the community together. And I want to show him, first of all, that I am already on his side. I have been on his side for months. This is where I tried to live with my free-to-play content here on YouTube. So I want to show you a clip of a video I did. It was a video that's the exact same day as that live stream clip that I just showed you before. But this is just to show JGigs and everybody out there exactly where I stand on this issue. The economics of it aren't great. I do think that as a group, we are powerful and we can tell Plarium we think the economics are not great, and we're going to demand that they not gouge us this much on these packs. I also think we can speak with our voice as a community and say we want more access to these champions. We want more things we can do that are going to reward us with these Primal Shards, with the Primal Quartz. We can talk about drop rates. I think Plarium listens when we speak with a single voice and when we speak with our wallets. If we don't do those two things, if we don't all act in concert, if we're all split up amongst ourselves and we're all arguing about what's good and what's not, then Plarium doesn't have to listen to us. Likewise, if we say one thing with our voices, but say another thing with our wallets, Plarium's just going to laugh its way to the bank. So I think that what we need to do collectively as a community is let them know that we are interested in spending money on Primal Shards, but not at this price point. We are interested in promoting the game, but we need more return for our time in the game in terms of access to these mythical champions, or we're not going to be happy. So if Plarium gives us a little bit, comes down, listens to the community, then I think okay, so basically, what I'm saying here is the same thing about Primal Shards that JGigs is saying today about whatever he's talking about, whether it's the Xena pack or whatever. But basically, if we get together, we have a voice. We are powerful. If we speak with our wallets, they will listen. And so I'm going to echo his call again. It's the same call I made back in September. If you're a spender, hold on to your wallets for a while. You know, put a leash on that credit card. Let them know that these prices are unreasonable and that they need to listen to us a little bit more in order to get us to spend money on this game. That's it. That's the message. They need to listen to us more, or we're not going to spend money on this game. But if they do, we are happy to do it. Why? Because the game is so good. And I think JGigs made that point, and I want to make that point as well, that we as content creators, we do it because we love the game too. We love playing this game, but we don't like being taken advantage of. So thank you, JGigs. You're the man. I love your content. Definitely go check out his video. Watch the whole original video. Give him an upvote. Give him your subscription if you haven't subscribed to his content already. He's got a great channel there. And likewise, if you could help me out with a like or a subscription here, that'd be great. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoy reaction videos, if that's something that you actually want me to do a little bit more of. This is my very first reaction video. And also let me know how I did. Did my reaction add anything to the discussion for you? Did I make any good points? Or would you rather, I don't know, you listen to somebody else about this content? Anyway, thanks so much for hanging out. I've been Colred, and I will see you in another video soon.